Good morning, my dear listeners and viewers. Good morning and welcome to another wonderful Monday morning to your number one weekly entertainment program, the most educative program right here on Peny Radio and PenyGh. It is Random Threaded Maxine, and we're bringing you the Monday edition. So wherever you are, wherever you're doing the listening, wherever you're watching us, good morning and welcome. It is yet a beautiful Monday morning, and it is Random Threaded Maxine. Maxine is here in the studios, and as we always do every week after week, we want to welcome Maxine into the studios. Maxine, you're welcome to...
Yay! Good morning! Ceasefire this morning. Good morning to all my lovely listeners. It's always a pleasure connecting with you. It's a Monday, people. It's Monday. Whether you like it or not, it's Monday, and we are here, and we promise to serve you nothing but the best. It's Random Thoughts with Maxine. Welcome to my world.
Yeah. All right, so you heard it all. Welcome to her world.
Yeah.
The world of entertainment, the world of education and information. And for those who are doing the watching on YouTube, I think you have some idea of what we'll be talking about today. But for those who are doing the listening on radio, you have to wait. you have to wait until Maxine. All right. Yeah. So Maxine, you tell them yourself.
Okay. So it's always good to connect with you. My weekend was packed. A lot of activities here and there. Thursday, my friend treated me to a dinner at an Ethiopian restaurant. So this was my first time of having a feel of what it is to eat from Ethiopia. It wasn't bad at all. I enjoyed it. If I get the opportunity, I will do so again. Please, so if you are listening to me and you have not tasted Ethiopian dish, please, one of these days, do a little susu and try. You will love it. Secondly, on Saturday, one of my cousins got married, and for us it was fun. And Monday I am here and I am talking to you, and it's always fun connecting with you. Can I ask you a question? Somebody say you're always asking question. When I don't have answers, I would want to ask question. I want to just get into your mind and see whether or not the answers that I'm tossing in my mind will get some answers from my listeners. So my simple question this morning is, do you remember how your childhood was? Do you have fond memories of growing up as a young man, as a young woman, as a boy, as a girl? Are they pleasant, or sometimes you feel like they are unpleasant? So there is no way you would want to recap all the events that unfolded as you grew up as a young man or young woman. Did you have an interesting childhood? Did you have a troubling, if that's the word to use? What are some of the fond memories you have as a child? Do you still keep them close to your heart, or you don't even want to remember them? So this morning I was just about to step out of the house. Prior to today's morning, I had encountered a young girl who came to the shop to get something. So I'm also in charge of my mother's small provision kiosk. We sell virtually everything. I think I've said it on the show. Everything, skipping rope, whatever we sell. So the girl came around to get something from the shop. Then I observed that on her skin she had rashes. I don't know what kind of skin infection it was, but it was really bad, very bad. And I know her, she frequents the shop. So for me, when I was surprised, I'm like, what's really happened. Is it something she is reacting to? Is it those kind of. But I knew that she was just a small girl. She won't get answers for me. So the first question I asked her was that, has she been to the hospital? She says no, but she's been given some medicine. I'm like, cool. Then the next question I asked her, is it painful? And she said yes. Then I don't know if I could understand her pain, but you should see her skin. It was that bad. Then the last question I asked her was that, no, I think I didn't ask her a question. I just felt the need to encourage her. So I just told her that, you know what, everything will go okay, and then you have your clear skin again. Then she just nodded, and I added the last bit, unsolicited advice, but I did, just for a girl between the age of like 9 to 10. I felt that she might need those words. For me, I thought I should just have said something nice to her, because I was probably looking at how she was coping with the whole situation, even in the house. You know how children are. I don't know if you've ever been isolated once you get a ringworm on your head in school. That feeling, or chicken pox. That feeling when everybody in the house is safe and you're the only one with chicken pox, and everybody treats you like an outcast because nobody wants to be infected. And what betide you if you live in a compound house? Everybody would not want to cross your path, because they know that no, upon interaction with you, they were at the risk of getting some. So I just told her that they will go, she would have her clear skin back, and that she should pray and talk to God about it. Guess what? This morning, just on my way to the studio, I saw her again. She's been sent. This time around, she was in a sleeveless dress. Yesterday, she was in something, or she was all covered up. Then I saw the magnitude of the thing. So what I saw yesterday night was just her face. But this morning, on my way to the studio, she was in a sleeveless dress. I think that's the best thing to do, not to cover up, so that whatever medicine she's applying can take effect, like effectively. Yeah. And this was my thought. Imagine, fast forward, she grows up and those scars on her body do not go completely. What kind of memory do you think she will live with, knowing that at a point in her life as a young girl, she had this skin infection? I don't know what you remember about your childhood, but we all remember things that are pleasant and unpleasant. Do you remember that time that you were sick and you nearly died? Do you remember that time that your parents fought and you were just too young to understand what was really happening? Do you remember when everybody made fun of you that you were obolo? And in as much as you didn't like it, you had to live with it. Do you remember when you were playing with all those people and they would tease you with things that had to do with your body shape, your face, the size of your head, your forehead, the nose, all those ones? Do you remember? For some of us, just like folders, there are things that we have shelved. Those were our insecurities. Those were things that we battled with. For some of us, we're just counting the days so that we'll just complete school and have payment, or so that nobody gets to see the real shape of your head. Do you remember how your own siblings would tease you to the point that you would break down and cry? Do you remember? I remember when I was a young girl, my mother used to call me 7:45. This is a secret code, but I will tell you this morning. They couldn't just understand that I sleep early, and they would tease me to that point, because by the time it's 7, my eyes are already down. 7:15, I'm going small. By 7:30, I am gone. So everybody in the house will call me 7:45. Did I like that name? No, I didn't. For me, I felt like, can't I just sleep? I want to sleep, la. It is me, la. I want to sleep. Can't I just sleep? And that was it. So I also remember that I used to have a very pronounced forehead. And my mother will make fun. I remember so well. It wasn't funny then. And so nowadays when I braid, especially the first 2 days, it's not funny. You should see my forehead. It's all shiny like that. And sometimes even in school, people will even liken my forehead to our first president, Kwame Nkrumah. I say, hey, are these people this wicked? Do I have such a forehead? You are listening right now, and there are things that were said about you. They are still your insecurities. Maybe the way you walked, you had a K leg, people laughed at you. I know people who are still not wearing trousers, women to be precise, just because they feel they don't have great legs. I know people who will not fix certain hairstyles just because growing up there were some insecurities. For me, I also had to battle with weight. I wasn't a chubby child, but my grandmother always preferred children who were chubby. Obolo, you know how those kids are. They are all interesting for all the mothers, and probably you have nieces and nephews who are chubby. When you give birth to a child who is chubby in this part of our world, everybody thinks, oh, this is an adorable baby. Oh, Nuhucha. Oh, what does he eat? Can you give me the mixture? And everybody is interested in picking that baby, as against a child who is slim. And so growing up, when I wasn't really big, and my grandmother would give us, what didn't we drink just to put on weight? Because she preferred children who had flesh and were bony. And so she would give us treasures. If you're an old person, you know it. You would drink and sleep and sleep and sleep, and you won't gain weight. What didn't man take? But guess what? We've survived childhood. Whatever it is, the memories of our childhood are the blocks that define us as human beings. It defines our personality. For some of us, there is no way that we can tell the story fully and completely without making reference to our childhood. I can sit here and confidently say that I had a good childhood. But now, as I am talking to you now, some memories are playing back to me. So guess what? Childhood for all of us was not rosy. There are things we could not grapple with. There are things we did not understand. We had our insecurities. But guess what? There were good times too. Weren't there good times? Times that you hold to your heart. I remember those times when my mother traveled. My father did not know how to cook. My father cannot even boil water. So the best period when my mother travels is because the best time for us, in our own opinion, is because our father would always take us out to eat. So from Monday to Friday, we were eating out, moving from one restaurant to the other, and we had a ball. But there was a part of my childhood too I didn't like. My parents did not have a great marriage, so they were constantly fighting. And it's different for everyone. So you see, I can remember the part that makes me tick, and I can remember the part that was not so nice. But the memories have a way of haunting us. How we survived, we do not know. But guess what? We survived anyway. Our topic for discussion this morning is I just don't want to remember. I know there are things about your childhood that you do not want to remember. You have marks on your body you don't want to remember. You know the story behind that mark. You know the story behind the reason why you have become an introvert. You know the story behind why you do not want to visit that uncle. And the memories keep haunting us. It's different from everyone. But I don't think that there's anybody who said, well, we had it all rosy growing up. Because as children, the interesting thing is we don't forget. We do not forget. And this is what we grow up nurturing. For some of us, we are still nurturing that insecurity. We are still nurturing that lack of self-confidence. We are still nurturing things that probably happened during our childhood. So you are not making the grades. Up to now, you think you are not smart. That's nurturing. You are not confident about your weight. You are still chubby. You still have weight. You have still gained weight, and you are thinking and you're trying just to lose some weight. And you still remember those unkind words that were said to you growing up as a child. I know people who are constantly battling their weight just because they don't want to be tagged as they were when they were growing up. Childhood indeed did burden us with a lot of issues, but our inability to settle that part of our lives would lead us to traveling on that same road, and we become adults who are in grief. I don't know what kind of adult you are, but childhood memories and insecurities has a way of telling on you. It tells on you. For you are listening and your father abandoned your mother, and you are afraid when you get a boyfriend or and they say I'm leaving you, no, say, hey, what happened in 2020 is going to happen again. What happened in 1982 will happen in 2020. And so you dread it, or you know that it's your insecurity. You don't want to be abandoned. For some of us, we are just sticking around and are in relationships that cannot be salvaged just because we are afraid that we'll be abandoned, because we have been abandoned when we were kids. So we are like, no way. For you to abandon me, I'll do my very best to sustain this thing, when it doesn't even look sustainable. It is not sustainable. We've all at a point had been in a state of insecurity. Despite all our accomplishments, the schools, the degrees, the whatnot, the people we have met, there's a part of us that gets to a point that we kind of like self-doubt ourselves. Am I good enough? Can I do this? Will people appreciate me? What do they think of me? And all those things constantly playing in our mind. Do you have insecurities, or you don't have at all? Hallelujah. But guess what? We all do. Often times our insecurities remain with us even into adulthood. It does. The things that you dreaded, the things that you are afraid of, the things that you thought that no way this cannot happen, has a way that it would resurface when you grow up. There are so many experiences we've had as children or young people that keeps overlapping and that keeps rearing its ugly head just when we thought, Charlie, I thought I dealt with this thing. They come back. They always come back. This morning, just like we do every Monday morning, I just want us to reflect. Just reflect on the self. Have you identified the things that you are insecure about? Oh, I remember those times I used to watch Miss Ghana a lot. Then one of the questions the judges would pose, if you had the opportunity to change something about you, what will you change and why? And you know, the obvious answers from the contest are, no, I won't change anything about myself. Then I'll be laughing. Now people will say this and I'm like, are they really serious? Because growing up, I thought I had a big nose. So if I had the opportunity, I probably want a nose that is more pointed. Till I went to the library and I saw somebody's nose. And I said, hey, mine is good. Mine is good. And I had friends who used to make fun of me that, hey, as for me, when I get pregnant, the last few months, my nose would be like, there was this cup that we used to drink from. Then they will show you that, hey, as for you, your last 2 months, your nose will be like this cup. They will all laugh about it. But guess what? It's not like I'm laughing because I like what they are saying, no. I just came to a realization, and this is a quote I stumbled on and I want to share with you. No one is you, and that is your power. My nose is unique. It is my nose, and that is my power. When must we come to this point where we realize that we are all unique? We've heard all the uniqueness story. We are all unique. We are all unique. But you see, Not all of us have come to terms with the fact that we are unique and that we can have this. I mean, there was a reason why God created me with this kind of nose. I'm not pregnant. I'll get pregnant. When I get to that stage, I used to make fun of it that they will even be surprised that it won't even be my nose, it will be my legs. Because I've come to terms with the fact that whether I like it or not, that is the shape of my nose. Can I do something about it? I don't know. Maybe now I don't have the means to do a surgery. By projection, when I grow up and I have the means, will I still want to do something about it? I can't tell. But in the interim, when I don't have the means, can I just accept my nose? Acrobato is even around. And I mean, he's taking his nose personal. And now we are all making reference. No one knows tomorrow. And we even point to his nose. If he's to tell us a story of how he battled with insecurity about his nose, I'm sure a lot of us would be shocked to the core. But now it is something he jokes about. It is something that has become his claim to fame. Everybody mentions acrobato, and the next thing that comes with it is no one knows tomorrow. What is it about your very self that you are insecure about? All you need is the courage and willingness not to be bothered. You need the courage and the willingness. You should be willing in your spirit that in as much as this thing exists, in as much as I don't like it, this is what I have, this is my power, and I can't be bothered. Security is in the state of the mind. So is insecurity. You have the choice to say that, hey, yo, this is my head, big as it is, this is my head, I likes. That is it. Then you are secured about it. But once you see your head and you are thinking, what can I do about my head? Oh, I don't like this head. Oh, what is there? Then you are insecure. The power to remain secured is in your hand. Sometimes we also blame our parents, but we forget that our parents also had their own wounds also growing up. And we think that, oh, that was a bad parental error. Crime. But you don't also know how growing up for your mother was, growing up for your father was. Probably they didn't do the best they could have done as parents. There was error, or there are errors in how they, what's the word? Parented. Yeah, they brought us up. Before it grew. So there are times that we can't fully blame them. We can't fully blame them. I don't remember. I have a mark on my left foot. Very black, pronounced one. And my mother tells me that, oh, she left me in the care of somebody. And the person, I think there was hot water on fire. The person didn't pay attention. I was crawling then, and it poured on me. See, that is the story I was told. As I sit here right now, when I wear shoes that are open, you will see it. I didn't live with the bitterness that you didn't take care of me and you were careless. Now I have a mark on my left foot. Maybe she learned her lesson the hard way. She wouldn't have left me again in the care of another person when she wasn't too sure. But I don't go around with all the bitterness saying that you are the cause why I can't wear sandals. I wear sandals. If you see and you ask me the question, I'll just tell you, oh, this one is hot water that poured on my leg. End of story. I'm not hiding my feet. I'm not. I can't be in shoes 24/7. Hey, my feet must breathe. They also need air. And so we might not be too happy with some of our parents' decisions. You know there are things you are suffering for that you know that, this one is my mother and my father's fault. But will you perpetually live with that kind of mindset? My parents fought a lot. They did. Oh, they did. In as much as I enjoyed part of my childhood with all the fond memories of the outings and all, that was a part of my childhood I didn't like. I was not proud of waking up and hearing your parents fight constantly. Theirs was 24/7, non-stop. And that was my insecurity, because when I left the room, I felt like everybody was just looking at me. And you know it when you live in a compound house or an area that is everybody's issue is everybody's issue. They know what goes on. They heard the noise, they heard the back and forth. But what lessons did I pick from those experiences? I was insecure then because I am a child. And you look at other people's family in that same house and you are thinking, why can't I just have this kind of life for my parents? But you see, when you grow up and you start thinking like an adult, you appreciate things, and you know that marriage is not for children. They might have their insecurities and they didn't communicate well, but the question is, what lessons have you learned from it? Your childhood memories and insecurities has a way of stifling you if you don't work towards them. I know you don't want to remember. We all don't. We all don't. Do you remember when you went for that family party and they didn't give you Fanta? And all other cousins receive Fanta because your father is a farmer. And other people's parents are working with government sectors. And so when they call parties, you don't want to meet some people because you still remember those memories. Can you do this for yourself? Do not take things personal. And that's the first key to handling any form of insecurity. Just like the story I told you about how the hot water poured on my leg. I have not taken this obedient kind of say black kind of say damaged leg personal. If you are interested in why my left foot is darkened or all that, I can tell you the story. But I have not taken it personal. And it will take time. It will take time. But as I said, there has to be some courage and willingness from your side. How do you intend dealing with that situation? The next thing I say is that I honestly think that a lot of people have not appreciated how far we have come, even as individuals. We have failed to appreciate ourselves. There is lack of self-appreciation. We don't see the strides that we have made. We don't see that we've chalked some successes. We don't. All we see is what happened to us and what is affecting us and how it's affecting us. Can you appreciate yourself? That, oh, I used to be very big, but now I think I've lost some weight. I'm looking good. Oh, my nose used to be big, but even though it has not changed, I think now I'm doing a lot of hairstyles and I'm feeling myself. I know people who would fight with you if you dare post their childhood pictures on Facebook. They would deal with you because anything about childhood is not something they would want to recall. I know somebody who actually tore all her childhood pictures. Use scissors, chop them into pieces, because you see, there are some pictures that will remind you of some pains. There are some Christmas pictures that they shed the chicken and they gave you the head. There are some memories you don't even want, and so since you don't want to live with them, you rather destroy pictures. I posted some pictures back, and you know that is what I say. People will say God has been good, but it's just the people telling you that we've come this far, and that's confidence. Insecurities about our childhood must not linger on. Otherwise, guess what? We are going to infect our children with our own insecurities. They will also get a fair share of their own insecurities that they would have to battle with. And I don't know what the end product is going to be like. I know you stopped being smart, or your grace growing up as a child was not something that your parents were proud of. And so now you think you are not even good at anything. Your parents have said things loosely. And that is what keeps lingering on. So you think you are not cut out for anything that is good. All you do is to be in the kitchen. Your talent that gave you some fans growing up as, oh, this boy, the way he can speak well in front of an, just because one moment you forgot your lines and you couldn't deliver, that alone has barred you from speaking publicly. Can we attack those aspects of our lives that we are insecure about it? I don't know how this young girl is going to pull any issue that has to do with her skin when she grows up. I don't know what form of advice and what form of motivation she gets from the house. But we are listening right now, and you also will need an advice to work on your insecurities. For some of us, an extreme praise is all we need. Oh, you've done well. When it does not come, no, your battery is dead, because you grew up with a lot of affirmations. But can you just say that, okay, this is not my mother and this is not my father, this is my boss? Whether praise comes or praise does not come, it does not change the fact that I am talented. And that is how come a lot of us are just walking the surface of this earth wounded, just because we have not dealt with our insecurities. We want to transfer our issues to people and make them own them, when we can own them and turn them around for our own good. What are you insecure about? Are you afraid that that boy will leave you? Are you afraid that just because you just had to resit a paper, you no longer think you are smart? Are you afraid that those memories that haunted you in the past would resurface when you did not expect? We all have tons and tons of insecurities. The first step is to identify what you are insecure about. There are a lot of things we are insecure about, but just that we have not thought through it. And so we take them as, oh, one of those things. But once we can identify this is our insecurity, we'll do a better job on ourselves. We'll be right back.
All right. So if you've joined us now, either on YouTube or on Peny Radio, we're still here talking about something very interesting, and I know you find yourself somewhere in there. What are the things you don't just want to remember? What are those things? What are the things that you are insecure about? What are the things you really want to deal with, but you don't have the strength to? Do you even know them? Do you remember them? Or you just don't want to? You know, there are times that there are some things that happen to us we really don't want to remember, but they keep playing back in our minds. Yeah. Do you remember them? There's a many more. We're just discussing.
All right. So the mind has a way of retrieving data.
Yeah.
It does. It will retrieve that data that you have shelved. And then it will click on those feelings associated with those experiences. Your mind is clicking on some data, and those clicks just opens you up to those wounds. Childhood memories can be devastating, but it is not an opportunity to self-doubt yourself. I know. See, there are times that I come to the studio and I'm not feeling myself. It's not like I come here, but when I sit down, I pick my phone. Ask Dominic, the first thing I'll do is to take a shot. There are times, that is it. You don't even feel that your makeup is on point. There are times you feel tired, your eyes even feel tired. But you see, it does not deter you from doing what you have to do. And that's what I am saying this morning. There are pictures that you take in like, no, this is not my best shot. But you know better shot will come. Maybe not today. But it doesn't even deter you not from not taking shots. There are times that I feel I don't even want to do anything to my face. This is just me. Let me come like that. But I know that there are people too who are out there who will see my face and get a kind of say an enlightened morning. So can I lighten up somebody's morning? And that is what we are made to do. So if we don't even deal with our insecurities, there are people who will not benefit from us. Just like I can talk to that small girl. Probably you just need a word that you have to drop for somebody to feel good about themselves. The person feels bad about themselves. They feel overweight. They feel they are boring. They feel they are ugly. They feel they won't amount to anything. Can you just spark that light in somebody's life? And you can only spark it when you are secured. And that's the way to go. We need some form of security in the mind. And it will translate in how we do our things. It's time to bounce back. 82, 85, 72, 73, 62 past. 2020 is the deal. 82 must go with its worries, its challenges, its defect, whatever it brought to you. 2020 is the deal. Currently, you are even listening and things you are struggling with. I know people who have lost potential husbands just because somebody just dropped a hint that, oh, I think you're overweight. I don't want to marry somebody who is like you. And all they do is to eat. Just because somebody says you are overweight. And then you are eating left, right, center. Please, that should not be the determinant for how you live your life. Or for the reason why you want to gain extra weight. No, that is the reason why you should even pick yourself up and bounce back. I don't know how far you have invested in self-appreciating yourself. Can you set a day for yourself? Self-appreciation day. S.A.D. In as much as it comes like sad, it shouldn't make you sad because you are appreciating yourself. Appreciating yourself for the strides that you have made. Appreciating yourself that now you can joke about your oversized nose. Appreciating yourself that you have struggled in the past without the help of anybody, but now even though things are not as you want them, you can still fend for yourself. Bread and butter issues are not to be worried about. That's appreciation. Appreciation that you were living in fear and now there's a part of you that's confident that I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know I'll be fine. That's self-appreciation. It's time to bounce back. Don't remember. As for remembering, it's okay. You remember small, but you don't sleep there. You remember that, oh, water poured on my legs and I had this accident and this. But you see, once you overcome that challenge that gets you insecure or that got you insecure in the past, then you know that you are halfway through the journey. See, whether we like it or not, insecurities are bound to arise at every point. You are not married, you are insecure. You get a fine husband, you are insecure. You say you want fresh boy, you are insecure. You get a good job, you go there, you think people are looking down on you, you are insecure. You are getting the salary you want. You look at the one who is on the top most you kind of say level or ladder when it comes to the corporate ladder, you are insecure. You are doing something for yourself, you spy small to see, hey, this man's farm looks good than mine. You are insecure. So insecurity has a way of popping up. It pops up every single day. But the antidote for it popping up is don't show notification. Can we mute it? We mute those notifications. You see it, you know that Charlie, I wish I had this car. His car looks better than mine, but don't worry, we'll get there. And can you appreciate people for what they have? Your legs are okay. Can you say, oh, you have nice legs? And sometimes the memories of childhood has even brought some good things to you, but you have failed to acknowledge it. You look at those pictures. Not that those legs are nama bahu kakra, but because you have failed to appreciate the thing, you first no cry, you know that you are not fresh like that. But now you are looking fresh small. You appreciate the fact that you are looking fresh small. Sometimes you can even identify that those that you don't know how to take pictures. Yeah. When you smile is some way. But now you smile people, you know that your smile too has a bend. And you appreciate yourself. See, it's a simple world though. Yeah. It's not as simple as I am saying, but you can make it simple. You make it simple with the things that concerns you. Because when you feel good inside, it tells outside. Yeah. Feeling good has a way of telling on the body. You feel down, you feel depressed, you feel lack of self-worth, it tells on you. You feel happy thoughts, it tells on you. You are stressed. Haven't you seen people who are stressed and they still will manage a smile? And you are thinking, how does he do this? Do not take things personal. We survived childhood with all the teasing, with all our insecurities, with all the body odor, with all the caca and things, with all the teeth that didn't look good. People made fun of us, teased us, siblings, family members, school friends, and all that. Sometimes they even see and they forget your real name, and they are still calling you by the things they used to call you in school. But now, guess what? You have become a big man. Is that what is telling on you? Can you have an alone time this morning and then identify what makes you insecure? Okay. It has a direct link with your childhood, right? Because the childhood memories kind of like build the blocks for adulthood. So you get somebody who is very selfish, probably grew up in a selfish environment where everybody was just concerned about themselves and will not extend a helping hand. So you realize that the person is selfish in all their dealings. You can understand them, but it doesn't mean you should be selfish forever. And I'm a boy. No, I don't know. There are people who never got help with anything. So when they are working as adults now, they want to do everything by themselves. They don't even want to ask for help. That's his childhood insecurity telling on you. There are people who know that, this is what I should do to get this. You were bullied as a young boy, as a young girl. Instead of you growing out of that insecure nature of you and all the bullies you too have become a bully. And you are bullying people. Please, the memories are not to make you worse. They are to make you better. And so sometimes I think a lot of the times I just do a projection. When I see people behave in a certain way, I said, we are not privy to how they grew up. We are not privy to some of the traumatic experience they went through. If they are to tell their stories, our jaws will be wide open. And so we cannot fully blame people. But it's also not enough to say that, I grew up in a house where my siblings bullied me, so in effect I want to bully anybody that comes my way. Your father left your mother, your husband will not leave you, okay? There has been abandonment. I know parents who just left their children to go and hustle, came back, children have turned some way. Children are still angry, harboring bitterness just because if you had stayed, it won't turn out this way. Is it not enough? I know boyfriends, you meet them, they're not willing to tell you about their parents. I don't want to say anything about my childhood, so who should say it? And I wonder that it might be as easy as I'm saying, but I just shared it. I also did not have full memories that are pleasant. It was a mixture of a lot of things. But guess what? We keep the good memories to ourselves and we deal with the bad ones. So help us God. Find out what your insecurities are. For some of us to I'm not insecure. No, you know it. Once you start defending your actions, you know there's something fundamentally wrong. No one is you, and that is your power. Turn those memories into good ones. Let them turn around for your good. Appreciate yourself. Find an alone time and know that these are the things that gets to you. Deal with them and do not take things personal. Because if you take things personal, you will live in perpetual bitterness and anger, and you die early. So please, you don't want to die early, you don't want to die foolish death. So please, exercise restraint, deal the things we can do. If you cannot deal with them, tell yourself that this is not within my power, I leave it. God expects us to live our best life. That's how come. I mean, I don't know why we would even want to quote scripture out of context. So you forget the things of the past and then you forge ahead, and that's it. Because the past must not tell on you. You forge ahead because what is ahead looks good, and that's our portion as Christians, that we look ahead. We forget the past. Can you forget those traumatic memories, your insecurities as a young boy, as a young girl, even presently, and can we just forge ahead? We'll be right back.
All right. So I don't know if you have any experience that you want to share with us. If you're doing the watching and you have any experience to share, kindly let us know. You can share with us on WhatsApp 0543295571. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can also share in the chat session. Alright, I think there's a comment here on WhatsApp.
Alrighty.
So this person is saying that if the past will not make my present better, I just ignore it.
Okay.
Alright, so
simplicity.
Yeah, if your past will not make your present better, you ignore it. Alright, thank you for that.
Thank you.
You can also share yours with us. We're still here in the studios. I just don't want to remember it. What are those things that you don't want to remember? Share with us.
Okay.
But for me, I think when I was, I think it's still there. Let me see. Okay. So they used to tease me that my ears are big.
Oh,
yeah. And so they used to tease me that my ears are big, and then my father would say, your ears just like your grandfather. And so when
association,
and my grandfather is Asuma. And if you look at the name Asuma and Asun, like in Asuma and Asun, but the meaning of the name is the saint.
Like,
as in apostle.
Okay, that's nice.
So Asuma, so people, they would dinner was Sunday. So it got to a point that I had to. So if I know that Alex, when I'm approaching Alex and I see him from afar, and I know that he will talk about my ears, I first give my ears, like a comment on my ears to him, and then I first attack.
That is it.
To cut them.
Yeah.
So please, if your nose is big, make something good out of it.
So that's it. But you see, always there's an inner critic that reminds you of the things that you are insecure about.
Yeah.
Are you still going to have that haircut? It will expose your ear. So that ear, that's a mina katahun kakrano. And so if we are unable to deal with that part that talks to us constantly and sends us a reminder to the things that we are not secured about, then we are good to go.
Yeah.
You see, you already have diffused that energy. And so the energy will not spread at all. But once you are not dealing with that inner critic, so remember the last time you mounted the podium to give you see how you are shaking. Do you still want to go back again?
You see?
That's the inner critic telling you that, Charlie, what happened in 1962 might repeat itself. So you have options of either saying, oh, I can't do it, or maybe some other time. But there's always an opportunity to shine again. So please take care of that inner critic that always will constantly serve as a reminder to you and tell you about the things you are insecure about. I know people who do not attend weddings. just because you are not married. Because they will be asking you a lot of questions. When are you getting? It should be your 10. Oh. I know people who do not attend naming ceremony because they are married and they do not have children yet. And so that is it. But go for that naming ceremony and let that inner critic tell you that somebody will come and ask you, when are you giving birth? And you find the appropriate answer for the person. Not being rude, but you know that once you settle the matter with those words, the person himself, there won't be a comeback.
All right. So you're still here. If you have any comment to share, you have any experience. I think there was one also here on WhatsApp. This person is saying that some of our past memories are positive. You just need to identify the one that moves with your positive energy and do away with the negative ones. Yeah, so I think it's in line with the
the first so we thank you for that one. So the memories entirely are not all bad. As I said, they are fun. There are some successes you have chalked. Remember when you were a kid, that speech and prize giving day, you alone, the show that you pulled there, your parents were proud of you. So remember those interesting moments, the fun ones, and the bad ones. Charlie, let's shelve them. Let's shelve them.
All right, so we're still here as Random Thought with Maxine, the Monday edition. All right, so this one says that if you dwell so much on the past, you'll be living your life backwards. If you dwell so much on the past, you'll be living your life backwards. Okay. So reverse.
Reverse. So, that's a reverse.
So you put the gear in reverse and then so let's be careful how we live our lives. Don't overthink, okay? If there's nothing you can do about it, just let it go. You can also share yours with us, share your experiences with us. What are some of the things that you don't really want to remember? Is there anything like that in your life? What are some of the things that always comes to mind and you wish you could format it from your head?
And usually the things that come with pain. Sometimes they're just loss of a parent, a sibling, something. So I remember growing up, my grandfather's album, there's a part that was covered with something black. And anytime we get to that portion where we want to see the picture there, he will say no way. He has a way of saying no way. It was until he died that I realized that he lost a son. And that was a picture of his son in the album. But just because he didn't want to live with the memories, he had just covered the part. And that was how he dealt with his grief. I mean, no parent would want to lose a child. And it was tough for him. Maybe you are listening right now and childhood memories, something, you lost a brother, you lost a sister, you lost somebody. There's some twins in my neighborhood. One of them died some few days ago. There are 2 girls, and I honestly do not know how this little girl is going to cope, but she looks all right, she looks fine and all. But I know that someday the memories will come. She will think of the fact that she had a sister. Now she can say but she doesn't understand the depth of what it means to But I mean, for whatever it is, they had memories together. So the memories will come back with the pain, with the hurt, with all the things that are not pleasant. Can we not allow our childhood memories, especially the bad memories, to continually make us live in some state of insecurity? Just bounce back. It's important. It's just important. It will be good for you. It will be good for the people who care about you. It will be good for your future. It will be good for anybody who comes around your space. Just bounce back. You gotta bounce back.
Okay, just bounce back. Whatever the situation is, whatever the issue is, whatever memories your past bring, just bounce back.
Your father was a teacher, right?
Yeah, he's still a teacher.
Oh, he's still a teacher. So you know those times that there are times your report card comes and the performance is like brilliant. And there are times it doesn't go well.
Yeah.
So when it's brilliant, you hear things like, "Oh, that's my talented son, smart, intelligent." But when it doesn't go well, oh, bomba.
Yeah, and you know one painful thing. You see, those times that I was always between the first 10, okay, and those times, the times that I would do very bad, okay, you now align ourselves first, second, third, like you'll be in a long queue, and then they'll mention the name, and then
mother.
Yeah, but then the very year I was first in class, we did not do that.
They didn't show you.
It's just a report card that they give to you, so you don't even know.
They will display you.
And it was that particular year they cancelled that one.
Yeah, that thing is devastating.
And they gave us, and I said, so I went to my father, and that time he I think that was the same year he became a headmaster.
Okay, heady.
And then I went to him and I said, Papa, madam me de mode paper ya share yen say mama me gina nim ho. So he didn't understand.
Yeah.
And I was still asking, so why is that don't you see first in your card? So I see it, but others don't see.
They must see that you were first.
And those times they were beating you. If you are last, yeah, they'll beat you.
So there are times that you do very well.
Yeah.
Maybe first term, second and third term. Third term, you know, sometimes you see the look on your parents' face, like you have disappointed them. Then they forget all the good things they have said about you the first 2 terms. And so you're like, hey, have they forgotten that this is their brilliant son? And that is what sometimes, if you are not too sure, we want a lot of affirmation. So when you go to the workplace environment, you are not being affirmed and all that. You are thinking, what happened in 1962 is about to repeat itself. What happened in 1962 is about to repeat itself. History is about to repeat itself. Hey!
Oh God!
What happened there in Kuma's era?
It will happen again.
It will happen in Okufuado's era.
I think that there is a joke like that. That the guy entered some trotro or something, and then his money got missing in the trotro, and he had not paid.
Okay.
And then when he started looking for the money, he was not seeing it, and then he went like, Well, if you've taken the money, bring it to. If you don't bring it, what happened on the 15th of 1992 will happen again.
It can happen.
Then he repeated, if you've taken this money, bring it to. So there was one guy sitting, like the money fell and the guy stepped on it. He wanted to. Then the guy was scared. Then he said, it fell down, and so take it. He said, thank you. So there was one man sitting, and the man was curious. Said, what happened in 1990? He said, I walked from like circle to.
It was.
So when I get down to where I have to walk like 10 miles, the guy was scared. He didn't know what happened in 1992.
History cannot be repeating itself.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. Most childhood memories, if not properly taken care of, leaves people suicidal.
Yeah.
There are people who saying that, because the results came, your brother did very well. All attention have moved towards your brother. And you are the last man standing. So you also have to find your feet. And unfortunately, these are some of the errors that comes with parenting. But Charlie, small, me, I don't know what kind of mother I want to be, but we'll try.
And one movie comes to mind with what you said, like Stars on It.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the letters are dancing.
Yeah. There's less to go said. He couldn't write. He couldn't spell the thing.
The letters are dancing.
Anytime I watch that movie, like I'm broken.
Yeah.
They took him to a boarding school, right? That day, the way he was crying, that's the scene I don't really want to watch. Anytime I watch that scene,
I can watch it like within a day. I can watch it like 10 times, and that movie and then 3 Idiots.
Okay, 3 Idiots. I tried watching.
There are movies
that you really like. Yeah. So if that boy was like, it was real life story, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what childhood was was for him, because even for us who were just watching from like viewers' point of view, we could feel like a chronic break. His father could not understand, so it was his mother who was okay. So parents out there to please, sometimes there's little pressure. We can understand. We are the ones who go through the hassle to pay school fees and things, but there are times that it just
the pressure that comes on us.
Exactly.
Just like this one, the the guy who was working on his project and he was delaying, he had to hang himself. And
that's pressure of insecurities.
So I think we need to really.
Have you ever heard a mother say to children, like 5 girls, amongst all my 5 children, you are the one who is the ugliest? Like it's obvious, like the person will let you know. You know, like I know. There's a lady who tells me that anytime I see all of them, I'm like, you're all beautiful. She says, true. This is our sister, she's the ugliest among us. I said, hey, this is your definition of ugly. And you know, sometimes even our parents had made us, hey, why did I give birth to such a child? And I mean, like, is this my child? Did I give birth to this? Who did? And so you leave the children living with a lot of insecurity. Now when a person even grows up and flesh has come on their face and their legs are no longer looking tiny, they can still not believe that they are fresh. Because what was implanted 1965 has grown and germinated into what? Fruit. And has brought fruit that will last. If you are not too careful, that's fruit too. Hey, please. So you are thinking you are not beautiful. Because you felt like that. You were made to believe like that. It's also a part of your insecurity. Can you just forget? It's not easy, but Charlie, it starts with working on yourself, and then you can.
So work on yourself and you can do it. All right. So I think our time is up, and we need to any final words to listeners and viewers.
So ability to identify our insecurities first will need us to be courageous.
Okay.
The things that might pop up in your head, should you take an alone time and do an assessment of your life, is not relevant. It's not easy. It's not easy. So there are times that we've gone for renewal programs, and sometimes when there's a period for inner healing, you see how people are broken just because things of the past plays back to them. But just when you come to the foot of the cross, you have no other choice to lay down the burdens.
Just let it go.
So on Peny Radio, we give hope for the hopeless. Can you lay down all the baggages of insecurities? Ask the Holy Spirit to be your strength. He will open your mind. He will make things clearer. But at times you don't even know that you are insecure about certain things. But once you come to that realization, it's liberating. You need to be liberated. Let not your childhood memories, especially the unpleasant ones, stifle your development. It's time to get up. Know that you are you, and that's the power you have. Thank you so much for your time. It's always a pleasure connecting with you. See you, God willing, on Wednesday. I'm out. Bye.
All right. Okay, so it has been a wonderful moment with you right here on Peny Radio and PenyGh. So for those who were able to send in your comments, we say thank you, God bless you. For those who could not, we say on Wednesday, do your best and send. Okay, so let's meet again on Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. right here on Peny Radio and PenyGh. We also want to say a very big thank you, God bless you, to Maxine for always coming to share. Alright, so have a fruitful day. Make a date and time with Alex at exactly 3 p.m. right here on Peny Radio and PenyGh. It is a bye for now. Enjoy your day.
you live on Peny Radio, your number one online Christian radio station. Peny Radio, hope for the hopeless.